Hey guys, welcome back. Yeah, I just wanted to run through some things. If any of you guys are going to come to Scandinavia or Sweden, and what you're going to find is that most of the houses here, if you're going to buy something, because there's cheap houses, so that you can get good house prices here still. For some of the places, this one was a good price. That's why we went for it. But I think most of the houses in Sweden were built in the 1930s or the 1970s. There's one of those two, but those are the two decades where you get the biggest housing stock. So more than likely, if you're looking around on Hemnet or something and you're trying to find something, the good price will probably be in a 1930s house. So yeah, this video can just give you a quick insight into what sort of things you've got to be aware of if you buy that house, the kind of renovations, the kind of things you might have to do to it. So yeah, basically, excuse the mess. Obviously, we've just moved in and we're sorting everything out, but yeah, so this is obviously like a detached house in a small town, central Sweden, and you normally get, if you buy a house, you normally get like a little outhouse like this one. This is like a barn type place, and you get your own garden and like a detached house as well, but it's going to need some things to have a look at. Now normally you'll get an inspection as well, which you probably should. It's normally around 10,000 krona, and the inspector guy will come around and inspect it and tell you this and tell you that, and yeah, but basically what we kind of knew with this place is, first of all, this 1930s house, so it's designed to have a fireplace, which you can see here. So it's kind of designed to have like a fire burning most of the time in the central center of the house, so keeping everything nice and warm, especially in the attic as well. But for some reason this house has been closed up, and you might get the odd place that's closed up. Definitely a feature we could be looking at later on down the line, if we've got the money, is to open up the fireplace and get a little wood burner in there, or a little wood stove or something. Maybe just shove the pipe in there. That would be the first thing I do, because that would be actually sick, because it would help with the heating bills, and it would also help with the feel of the place, and also help with the attic. So if we start from like the top of the house, up there was some white mold, which you will get when it's very warm in the house and then it's very cold in the attic, and the two meet and there's condensation forms, so you get a little bit of white mold. I've been up there, I've had a look. First thing I did was actually just in terms of ventilation, because obviously you need it to be warm, dry and ventilated. So one thing you can do straight away is just like a little thing in there, just to keep some air going up there. Have the hatch open. With the hatch open, that's going to let some air in. I went up there and it wasn't too bad actually. I went up there with some white vinegar, a scrubby brush, a mask and some gloves, and started scrubbing away the white mold. It came off. It took a bit of effort, but it does come off. That's the first thing you want to do. It's pretty empty up there, and the woods is good. It's not rotten or anything. It's just a little bit of that mold, and I think that's the reason why it forms. So what I've done is obviously tried to get rid of it, and then there's two vents on either side of the attic. I made sure they're clear, clean those. One of the vents had the mesh, like a little mesh, because probably to keep out bees and flies and stuff, was completely missing, but it still had a grate, so it's fine. And then on the other side, the mesh was still intact, but that side was worse. So I was thinking, how come one side is worse than the other? So maybe it's to do the mesh and the airflow. So I punched a few holes in the mesh, to be fair, because, you know, I can't see anything. There's no animals that are going to be able to get through the actual grate. So in terms of the little sort of fly mesh, I think you could get away with just either ripping it out or just, you know, punching a few holes in there. Then I started cleaning. Obviously, he's left a little gap in the attic hatch as well. Especially now it's spring, summertime, you can afford to sort of keep all this air flowing up there, because you're not going to spend so much on trying to keep the place warm and then heating. And essentially, you want to increase the ventilation, essentially, in the upstairs. So this is upstairs, so this is obviously down from up there. And something you need to do is keep this ventilated in order for the mold not to occur, because it helps balance the heat, so it's not so warm up here and then cold up there and it condenses. Rather, it's a bit more ventilated up here, so you won't get that sort of condensation of forming. So the first thing you want to do is, after what I've said, is just actually try and get some ventilation in your upstairs. So punch a hole here maybe and put a vent in. One next to this window as well, and yeah, one here as well. And once this upstairs is better ventilated, that will actually help. So then you could probably then just shut the hatch upstairs, put some more insulation in the floor of the attic. Even, yeah, I wouldn't say down the size of the house just yet, because it's difficult to know how it's going to affect, you know, mold and stuff like that. So wouldn't do anything crazy. Just, it's always good to just find out how they used to build the houses back here in the day, find out how they built them and why, and sort of take it from there and take things step by step. Yeah, so then once that's done, that should be able to put some more insulation in the attic floor and keep the heat in, really. But like I say, when you actually get the fireplace going, the heat will obviously heat where the fireplace is in the lounge, but then you're going to have the heat going up into the attic, and then that's going to be even better, because that's what it's designed for, is to keeps the attic a bit warmer as well. So that's something else that you can do. Obviously, you're going to have to do like renovation in general, wallpapers, maybe floors, and once you've had an inspection, obviously they'll tell you if the house is going to fall down, so you probably don't want to buy it. But if the bones of the house is pretty good, pipes are good, and yeah, it's all right, then yeah, I mean, depending on the price, you should probably go for it, you know. But yeah, it's going to take a bit of work. So yeah, that is basically covering the attic and the upstairs of sort of old houses. What you need to be aware of if you don't have the fireplace going, best to do those things that I've lined up. And yeah, we'll talk about other stuff downstairs in the garden and things in a later video.